Okay, so what do you need besides a miracle?
Kits. Lots of kits.
What's going on, everybody? Captain Spicy Pants here. We spend so much time talking about science boats and space DPS, but if you're ignoring your ground game, you're leaving half the fun on the table. Today, I'm going to give you my personal top 10 ground kit modules, the ones I actually run to get through elite content efficiently. This list isn't going to just be a math-only list, meaning what does the highest DPS. This is going to be based more on experience and why I choose to run them and why I feel they're very effective in these ground TFOs. So let's kick off this list, and we're going to start off with number 1. We're going to kick this off with a free reputation kit called the Gravity Containment Unit. I like this kit a lot. It's got a fast cooldown, it groups a bunch of enemies together, and it does some decent amount of damage. I stapled this on a lot of my control type builds, but it also pairs very well with unconventional gear. And coming in at number 2, we have the Agony Field Generator. Now this one is a little bit more pricey to obtain. It does come from the Infinity Lockbox, or you can buy it for EC on the exchange. However, I do like this kit a lot. It is a massive AoE damaging kit that pairs very well with any kind of control kit, such as our previous Gravity Containment Unit. At number 3, this should be no surprise to anybody who has been following along our new player experience journey, and that is the Universal Kit module Devouring Nanite Cloud. I have really great things to say about this kit. 1, it gives you a bunch of damage resistance. 2, it reflects a bunch of damage. And 3, you can release this onto the ground and do AoE damage and then put it back on you. It's a really unique kit. It's great for survivability. It pairs very well with the 3-piece Nicole set. Also, this kit is completely free to obtain from the Scorpion's Abyss mission. Coming in at number 4, we have Ball Lightning. You do obtain this throughout the summer event, which is right around the corner from us. You're going to need about 1,000 of, I'm not even going to try and say this currency's name. Look, we've discussed how bad I am at pronouncing stuff, so let's just move forward. Anyways, you need about 1,000 of these to turn in. I love this. It is pure visual chaos. It is just absolute solid damage over time, travels to multiple enemies, and hits like a Mack truck. So kind of an obvious choice for this one. On to number 5. This one's a little bit on the lower end. However, I still use it in cases of wanting to summon massive armies to fight for me, and that is the Universal Kit module, Watcher Robots. This one is fairly cheap to obtain. It also comes from the Infinity Lockbox, but can be obtained for a reasonable price on the exchange. I like these to kind of pair with the fact that they last for about 45 seconds. So if you're using ground pets, or say you're also assimilating enemies to create Borg drones, you have yourself a little micro army that's running around and keeping the aggro off of you. And these Watcher robots seem to have quite a bit of health, and they do a decent amount of damage. So I definitely recommend this one if that is more or less your theme to build. Moving in fast at number 6, we're going to use the Universal Kit module Personal Transporter. This, once again, is a little bit more expensive to obtain on the exchange. However, I absolutely love using this kit. It moves you from place to place really fast, and it has a very fast cooldown. Definitely useful in high mobility situations, getting to objectives faster, or just simply if you need it to get out of dodge, you can just quickly activate it and then deactivate it. Coming in at number 7, we're going to use Universal Kit module Mud's Time Device. This is yet another free Universal Kit module that you can obtain through the Discovery Reputation system. Now, full disclosure, I don't really use this one much on my main account because I don't die too often on my main account. However, I definitely recommend this one for new players in particular, that once you get to that level in your reputation system, to grab it. It is super useful in cases that you would otherwise die. It will protect you from your death, give you a quote-unquote cheat death mechanic, and then on top of it, if you use a kit module during this period, it will reduce the cooldown of your other kit modules by 15%. So this is something that I wanted to throw in there, as don't overlook this kit module, but you may or may not end up replacing it later on. At number 8, we're going to use the universal kit module, The Floor is Lava. This is yet another Rising Summer event kit that costs 1,000 of whatever these things are called. Anyways, I like this one. However, it is on an extremely long cooldown. You are going to want to use things that reduce the cooldown timer of this, such as unconventional gear and some kind of control ability kits. That being said, dropping a 10-meter radius of the lava patch is massive, especially if you group up a bunch of enemies in an area or they're a little bit more spread out. The damage from this is phenomenal, so I definitely recommend getting your hands on this one if you can. Onward to number 9, we have the universal kit module, Antiproton Leash. This is yet another free kit module that you can get from the Measure of Morality Part 2. I like this kit module because it is yet another AoE pull to target, and it has a 15-second recharge, so it's pretty fast to bring up. That being said, its damage is alright. I'm not necessarily using it for the damage portion, however, I do like it for unconventional gear. And finally, at number 10, we have the universal kit module, Resistance is Futile. Once again, this pairs very well with unconventional gear. This is a single debuff on an enemy. It does, however, spread to other enemies. On top of it, it has a 25-second recharge. I like it for the simple fact that lowering their resistances means you get to do more damage. And that's going to wrap up my top 10 picks for our universal kit modules. You might have different picks, and that's the beauty of Star Trek Online builds. Let me know in the comments below what your must-have module is. If you're following the Zero to Endgame series, make sure to drop us a sub. We're pushing Bob to the limit this week on Twitch and YouTube. That's all we got for today. I'm Captain Spicy Pants, and I'll see you on the next one.